Alright guys, anybody that would like to stand up, look around, take as many photos as you'd like, guys. If everybody will look right here on the left hand side of the boat, you will see a big giant white bird standing there. That big giant white bird is a great white egret. That is the second biggest bird here in the Everglades. He has a wingspan of over 5 feet wide. He will feed on mostly frogs, fish, baby alligators, things like that. Guys, if everybody will look around you, you will see islands all the way around us. Those islands with trees on them, they are called hammocks. In those hammocks, there is dry land. The Everglades is not completely covered in water. In those hammocks, we do have animals like white-tailed deer, wild hogs, raccoons, possums, bobcats, panthers, rabbits. We have a few black bears to the west of us, and we do have a few wild turkeys. The Everglades is the slowest moving river in the world. It is called the River of Grass. It moves from the north to the south at a rate of speed from 1 to 3 miles an hour every 36 to 48 hours. The water where we're sitting right now is completely fresh water. The water is also only about 16 to 18 inches deep. You could get out of the boat anywhere right here, take off walking in any direction, and never get in water much above your knee. The Everglades is very shallow. About every 5 to 7 years, the Everglades will completely dry up. It will get so dry out here that it will be like a desert. You could leave from where we just left from with a pair of tennis shoes on and never get your feet wet. That happens in the late winter, early spring. This is also our local drinking water. So if anybody made coffee this morning, this is where it came from, guys.
Awesome.
All the water that isn't used up continues to go south, dumping out into the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. All the tall grass that you see that goes for miles and miles and miles, not the little short grass around the boat, but all the brownish green grass that you see that goes forever. That grass is called sawgrass. It is what covers over 90% of the Everglades. On each blade of that grass, it has 3 edges. On those 3 edges, it has teeth just like a saw blade does. If you run your hand down it, it will cut you like a razor blade. If you go up, it does absolutely nothing. We also have snakes here in the Everglades. We have over 6 different species of venomous snakes here in the Everglades, about 40 different species of non-venomous snakes here in the Everglades. We also have about 6 species that are non-native to here. One of those non-native species that is a big problem now in the Everglades are the Burmese pythons. They did a study about a month and a half ago here in the Everglades. They estimate that we have over 175,000 pythons now in our Everglades. About 2 weeks ago, right in the parking lot where we just left from, we caught one that was over 14 feet long, had one of our local chickens eating it already. In the last year and a half, we have caught over 15 of those snakes just on the little property that Gator Park is located on. A few of my friends that work in these islands out here taking the non-native species of plants out of them, about 2 months ago they killed one that was over 17 feet long, had a full-grown 110-pound deer inside of it. Guys, they get very big here in the Everglades. This is the perfect habitat, the perfect climate, and they have no predators. Not even an alligator will eat one, and an alligator will eat almost anything he gets in front of his face. A female python will have eggs 3 times a year, over 50 eggs each time. That's over 150 babies for each female snake in 1 year. They are here to stay, guys. We never will get rid of them now. They came from pet stores. People buy these snakes when they're very small from these pet stores. In the first 2 years of that snake's life, that snake will be 8 to 10 feet long. It takes lots of big live animals to feed that snake. People get tired of feeding them, so they bring them out here to the Everglades, turning them loose, thinking this is the perfect place for them. It is, but it ain't. Guys, does anybody have any questions? No questions?
No.
What's the size?
Of the Everglades? The Everglades is over 7.5 million acres. There is estimated to be over 3.5 million alligators here in the Everglades. The Everglades goes all the way from Lake Okeechobee all the way south to the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico.
What's the biggest alligator that you saw?
The biggest alligator I've ever seen here in the Everglades is about 11.5 feet long. The reason is the reason they're not in the Everglades right here, they're in the man-made canals that border all the Everglades, big giant alligators. The big giant alligator won't be out here because half of his body will stick out of the water. If you was to take a big giant alligator, put him right here, he would stick out of the water about this much, guys, and an alligator will sunburn just like we do. If you was to take a big alligator, put him out here where he could not get back to any of the vegetation and come back at the end of the day, the skin on the top of his head and on the top of his back would already start to peel off.